I currently spend $1 million plus every single month on ads for clients and my own business. And in this video, which essentially is a free course, I'm going to break down into 4 key things for you to be able to run ads effectively for your business. We're going to be covering the overall strategy, the ad account structure, your creative plan, and fundamentally content itself. And this includes everything from the latest Andromeda update and to every single thing we actually do today. So sit back, it's going to be a pretty detailed and amazing video. If you're new here, my name is Shan and I've been doing this for the past 10 years where I help other businesses and I provide 10 plus different services doing so. In that time, my agency has done $110 million plus, and last year we did 25 million. And we do all of the stuff that I'm about to show you today is all from our own internal workings and what we do itself. So with that being said, let's get into it. So what are we going to be doing? I'm going to be walking you through this step by step so we can take our time and I give you as much information as possible. Starting off, the truth is that most people have the strategy wrong. So if you want more clients today, and ultimately what I'm going to show you today, it's all about how do you get more high ticket clients, either for your service or high priced customers for your digital product, course, info product, etc. The thing I'm about to say today works for either of those two people. So if you're a business owner selling a service, or if you're a coach, personal trainer, someone who's selling a digital product, a coaching offer, it's relevant for you as well. And I'll be talking through that through this whole video. The number one thing today is that you cannot be running ads to book calls or running ads directly to sell something as your main point of your strategy. The focus has to be on lead magnets. And I know a lot of people think lead magnets don't work. And I know you've tried some lead magnet and you think, oh, it didn't work for me. And I'm going to explain and tell you why. The lead magnet has to be good enough that it shows somebody that you actually are an expert. So it's not a cheat sheet. No, it's not a swipe file. No, it's not some thing quickly mixed and put together by some VA you've hired. It has to be your best piece of work. It's something that's going to turn a stranger into, wow, you know what you're talking about and I need to contact you. That is the point of the lead magnet. Essentially, take someone really cold and to make them think you know what you're talking about. And that is where most people fail with this. So your strategy from an ads point of view is 70% of your spend should be on lead magnets. Not book a call, not directly to buy. If you're running ads to your homepage and you're trying to get people to book calls, you're it's costing me too much, I'm not getting qualified calls, it's because of that. This is key. And I've done this for so long. And this is the thing that works because logically it works. If you can bring someone in and give them undeniable value, you'll then be able to convert them into a call, essentially a real lead that you can then convert into a sale. I'm going to be breaking down this in a lot more detail. But the trick is most people that do lead magnets are just not doing it detailed enough. So let me walk you through what I believe is the right way of doing it. And it's what we currently spend money on for lots of clients and even for myself. And I'm going to show you that now. So it has to be a free training funnel, because it's going to give you a low cost per lead and give you the chance to remarket to leads over a long period of time. So the strategic thinking is not only are you bringing people that we're going to warm up, but ultimately we're buying leads or acquiring leads through ads through the cheapest way possible. For anyone that run ads right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you're running ads with the goal of call confirmed is your conversion, it's going to be an expensive cost per lead. Also, the issue with that is that because you're not going to get that many calls booked, there's less data going back to Meta to make Meta understand of what does a good lead even look like, right? So if it's costing you $100 to book a call, but you don't have the budget to be spending so much to get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls booked, for Meta to truly even understand who is the right call for you, it's best to go on to leads. But obviously the packaging and the content to bring people in has to be right, so you're not getting the worst leads, which I'll show you later. The whole premise of this lead magnet is that we're going to take someone from not knowing something to knowing something, and during that process they're going to start thinking you are an expert. That's where a free training funnel is the best, because you're giving yourself a long piece of time. So what we don't want to do, we don't want to run an ad to lead magnet and that is it, because people will click on the thing, look at it once and they'll be gone. So you're like, oh, it didn't work for me. So let's break down what you actually need to do. So I'm firstly going to talk about my own, because it's always easier to show what am I own. And then I can show you some of the client stuff we do as well. So number one thing I do, we have an agency growth playbook. It says build your 7-figure agency, my proven system, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And this by far is the best type of landing page to do for a lead magnet. You just need heading, subheading, a visual of what you're about to receive, name, email, any social proof that you may have. In my case, obviously, I work with lots of people that people may know the names. So because of that, I use that as my thing. But this is the trick, right? So if you were to do this, you're aiming for a lead between $2 to $10 max, right? To get a lead into your lead magnet, which for anyone knows that's been running it again, you'll know how cheap that is. And that is amazing. For me, to be honest, it's now costing between $1 to $2 and that's it. But the trick is this. So this is a strategy. What we want to do, we want to get the lead. We're going to show them a thank you page where it basically says, thanks, check your email to get it. And I'm going to explain how we physically do that. But immediately you can have a book a call page here. And this will get you cheaper calls booked versus trying to run it directly to a book a call page. The reason is because not many people may book this, fine. Overall, you're aiming for about 40% conversion rate here, and you're aiming for a further 10% conversion on this page from just booking a call. But the trick is this, right? So what we want to do is the following. We want to start sending emails immediately. So I send 14 emails over 7 days. So day one, immediately, I'm going to start giving you value. And again, these are not fluffy emails. They are actually giving it away. They're actually saying to you what you need to do, right? So this is what you need to do. I'm saying this is what you should do outreach. You need to do it like this, etc. And then I'm linking further things to build rapport. So I'm linking other YouTube videos. I'm linking a Miro board. I'm linking a Google Doc. So you want to be as thorough as possible. So I'm talking about the full stack agency model, what you should be doing, blah, blah, blah. More skills equals more services you can offer. More services equals more value to your clients. More value, harder to replace you. These are not sales emails. It's value emails. You want to do 7 days of emails, which essentially is like a free training, free course, free whatever. That's going to make someone who's not good become good for free. Can you imagine you're reading this? Right, let's just read this one. You want to start high-ticket clients, you need to be seen as the expert in the room, and in 25, no better way to do that through content. In simple, every agency founder should at least 10 LinkedIn posts and you need to position them in the niche, right? Here's a starting framework, what you could do. Why this works, right? This is like, literally, it's like I'm having a call with somebody, right? Like I'm not holding back. I'm literally saying to you, here's my story video. Here's testimonials. Like I'm giving examples of shit you could do. Here's another, you can see it, how to position yourself as a premium partner, not just another agency. I've mapped out the content position, defend the roadmap, building a high ticket, you can see it here, right? So like I'm literally saying, and you can see it here. This is for free, by the way, right? What's going to happen is it goes, here you go, we cover that inside the Genflow Growth Accelerator, check it out here. So then here I'm pushing them to book a call. But it's wrapped with so much value that if someone genuinely reads this email, maybe some of you have, you will end up clicking on this and going and booking a call. And that book a call page must have a video as well, and then book a call because you need to complete that journey. So the point is, you bring leads in and you're going to impress them more than you can possibly think of. I'll say it another way. It's a lot like dating. You've taken someone's phone number. So imagine you get someone's phone number. Those 7 to 10 days are the most important to impress that person to trying to actually physically see them in person, right? And it's the same today online. You got to get someone's email. Let's say even if it's a DM, you have 7 to 10 days to really impress them, trying to get them on a phone call with you. That is the only way this is going to work. And that is why your lead magnet doesn't work today. And that is why if you're trying to get, I can't get clients because you don't have a strategy. But once people paid behind it, right? You're trusting Meta to go and find the right people for you, and it does. Obviously, the thing about ads is when you're spending 20, 30K a month, you start entering into the zone of Meta where Meta actually really starts to help you. The more you spend, then it just gets easier and easier. That's why if you have a business which has been running ads for 1 to 2 years, you are just in this coasting phase now because Meta knows what to get. So the whole thing just keeps on working. It's actually amazing because most people are so scared to spend money on ads. Only when you've got through that initial period, it's amazing. It's pretty much like anything, right? If you go to the gym, the first 10, 20, 30 sessions are so hard and then you start enjoying it. The first 5, 6, 7 times you run outside, it's really hard, but then you absolutely love it. It's almost with anything. And it's the same with this. Honestly, if you run ads for your business, any smart person realizes running ads is like having a full-time employee that's always out there getting you more customers because you cannot do that manually. It's impossible to be a business in 2026, an agency, a service provider, whoever you are, and not to be running ads. You're like openly not doing something smart, right? Take $5,000 less yourself personally and put it into ads, and I guarantee you'll make more money. You just will because you are categorically going and getting more people. But so many people today are just relying on referrals. Referrals is not a strategy. Referrals is a bonus. If you get referrals, well done. But that's not a strategy. That should be a bonus. You should have a clear plan of like, I'm going to get 15, 20 more clients this year, and then I might get 5 referrals on top. That's the strategy. Not, I'm going to hopefully keep churn down. Hopefully more referrals will come. Things will just work out. Let's just keep working. Right? Like that's just not a plan. Anyway, you get the idea, right? 7 days of emails because this is very important, right? Because because we're going to spend money on it, the structure has to be right. And look, through the whole thing, you can be pushing people to book a call. And the truth is, day 7, 8, 9, 10, if you have a digital product, you can then try to downsell that, right? But let's not complicate it. Let's keep it simple for the purpose of this video. Ultimately, as it says here, you're solving one highly relevant problem, package the solution, promote it on social media, collect emails, and then obviously if you make a lead magnet, you can also do it organically, which you should be, but then obviously you could duplicate that, run it through paid. We're focused on paid in this video, so that's what we're talking about. Let me show you one more example. So this is an example of a client of ours where the lead magnet is telling you, I will help you turn your LinkedIn into a powerful platform for your personal brand in just 7 days, right? So completely different thing. Again, so many people want to post on LinkedIn. They're like, yeah, I'll give your email to you. Give email, what happens? For the next 7 days, they're getting absolute crazy value in terms of teaching them an exact thing. In this case, there's actual videos. Again, there's information, there's full tables, so much information to make you think, wow, this person knows what they're talking about, right? This is not what you see online in people's lead magnets because they're terrible. In this case, we're not selling a service, we're actually selling a product. So all of this pushes people to buy a product. Simple as that. And it's a high ticket product, starts at, I think, at $997. And they're selling that through it. And if person doesn't buy, then naturally you will push them into more emails, more this, more ads, trying to get them to buy. But the point is, top of the funnel, this is the best way because you're acquiring more and more leads. And what happens is, if it's costing you only $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 per lead, and let's say you're spending $5,000, right? Soon enough, Meta starts to get amazing signal, and it will start helping you find better people. So now let's get into the ads part. Quick points to cover. People fail because all their spend is behind cold booking campaigns, then you give up. Ultimately, that is wrong. You're going for too high a purchase intent with too cold of an audience. Spending 70% on your budget on lead magnets does two things. It gives you a bank of relevant leads to market to and get a cold booked, as I mentioned. And then you're optimizing campaigns for cold bookings of high CPM, so you need a high conversion rate to get low leads. Optimizing for leads is much cheaper. And then ultimately you're redirecting email opt-ins to your book a call page. And that's the strategy, right? So if I was to lay it out, we're spending 70% on lead magnets at the top. Then whoever those leads are, we're going to hit them more aggressively to book a call. And then the ads change and stuff, right? So we'll be using top of the funnel, bring people in, and then we're going to retarget those people with more direct book a call, or maybe even buy ads, etc. So that's the strategic play. Cool. Let's move into account setup. So the old way was, and I'm sure a lot of you have done this, or maybe even do this today, right? The old way was you essentially would have interest, and then you have lookalike audiences, and that's what you would do. And historically, you would do 6 to 8 ads per ad set. You take one format, change the message, and you do it. So, right? And people are like, oh, you've got to run 25 different ads. People essentially will take the same thing and just make different versions of it. And there we go. And ultimately, you are testing for interests and lookalike audiences yourself. And ultimately, this is a simplified version with one campaign, but you would have multiple campaigns doing it, right? Obviously, since the Andromeda update and generally what's happening in the market, that does not work anymore. What works is this. And let's break it down. So this is what your structure of your ad account should be. One campaign has to be all about creative and persona testing. The whole thing is we're testing messaging angles, creative and messaging angles. And in that, we're going to find them and move them into a second campaign, which is all about our best performing countries, angles, etc. And that's our scaling campaign. And this is how that's done, right? You're going to have one angle and we're going to test different hooks under that angle to see what's working. So let me walk you through mine. So my angle is like a pain point. And in that, then I'll have multiple different hooks like that. If another angle is like a process walkthrough showing behind the scenes, then I'll have multiple different hooks. So you can even have like film different hooks and the rest of the body of the ad could be the same. And then CTA could be the same or different. So ultimately, these are different examples of just that from a visual standpoint. And ultimately, we're doing this here, right? So if I'm running ads, let's say for a client, if that was Laura, we would be discussing and saying, hey, one angle could be build a personal brand to get more clients. Another angle could be learn how to write on LinkedIn, right? These are different angles and you don't know what angle you need to say that's actually going to work in the market. That's also why I love ads, because it just makes you smarter as the business owner, because it really makes you think about your positioning in the market. And there's no better test than this, because if the leads are coming, you're like, oh, I didn't know that was the angle. Because then next time you're on a sales call, you can use that angle because now you know more about what people actually need. So for me, that's why ads is a must. It's just a must, right? You got to make more money. You can't afford ads. You got to make more money. You got to work harder. Or take less money out of the business. or stop wasting money on silly things. Whatever it is, gotta start spend money on ads to become better at selling. That's the number one. People are like, how do I get better at selling? How do I get more clients? You have to learn how to spend on ads, because ads teach you almost everything there is to know for you to scale your business. Because there is nothing better than essentially trying to sell to people, right? There's nothing better. That's why content is so hard, right? Because it's hard to know what to say that people are going to like it and value it and want to pay you and want to hire you. And that's the whole game of business, right? So the more you do it, the better you start to understand it, the better you start to taste it, and ultimately you'll start to get real, almost like service market fit, in other words. So you want to test creative angles, you want to see if it works, right? So for me, I think I've tried different angles that didn't work, and then you stop them, right? But if it does work, you move them forwards to top performing ads. For example, I have some top performing ones. B-roll, numbers always works for me. Numbers always works for me, right? Because I have that as a big USP that I can use that. Let's break that down in practice physically, so it's a bit more detailed if someone wants to implement this. So what I'm actually saying is this. This is my actual setup right now for my ad account. Let's put it out. So top of the funnel campaign for mine, I run it to USA, UK, Australia, because obviously this is the best leads I could get from a location point of view. The objective is lead generation. So basically when someone is going to opt in for the lead magnet, that is a conversion. So we are optimizing for leads, not like book a call, call confirmed, etc. And then I have my angles, right? These are my angle 1, 2, 3. So my one angle could be build a full stack agency. Don't just do one thing. My other angle might be don't spam people using, automated cold email. My other angle could be you should be taking a percentage from clients and not just charging a fee, right? These are different angles, different things that I believe would work from a messaging point of view. Let's say it was completely something else. You are a coach, you are a fat loss coach. Your angles would be you only need to exercise 3 times a week to lose weight. Or another angle would be, it's not about calories per day, it's about the calories you consume in a week, right? Different angle. Angle number 3 could be to earn more money in life, you got to first fix your health, right? These are like different angles. You're testing that. But then it goes one step deeper on the ad level. You actually want to test individual hooks themselves. So my hook, unfortunately, the best performing one is that if your agency makes less than 20K per month, I have something for you. It by far works the most. Anything to do with money will always work in a hook, right? So then you start to learn, be like, okay. And from there, you start to realize how to scale, because once you start to see which hooks are working, you double down and you make more and more variations of that. So essentially, that's what the setup would be. Then on my second campaign today is then other countries, which I call like the second tier countries in terms of quality of lead. We're repeating the same thing. And then the difference comes, right? So that's lead gen. And then I'm retargeting everybody with a book a call campaign. So I'm retargeting everybody. And this time it's a book a call is the conversion metric. And again, it's different angles. But now I know they've been in my playbook. They've been in my lead magnet. So, the angles can be a bit more deeper. It's a bit more thorough. Ads can be longer now, right? You can even do 2 to 3 minute ad because you know the person knows you. It's completely different in retargeting because you know the other guy knows you now. So very, very different, but you can do that, right? Ultimately, that's the structure. What does that look like? Here's some lead magnet. You can go to the ad library. You can check this live if you want, right? So like 3 core things we do better: IG, comment, reply, like whatever the ads physically are, they are working. And ultimately, here's all my funnels. So funnel 1, like I was showing you earlier, book a call, just calendar, call confirmed. You get that. Next is book a call. I've got long VSL, which literally is like 40 minutes. And then it says book a call. I have another one, which is short VSL, book a call, right? So you should never send people directly to a Calendly link. Having this here is massive because you are setting context. But again, you got to split test this stuff and you got to try. So I've got short VSL, long VSL. So I'm running across all 3 at the moment. It's interesting with the numbers to see like which is working, but ultimately they do. Cool. That is step number 2, which is the ad account setup, right? So you understand we're focusing on lead magnets and we're focusing on the strategy like I just showed you. So now let's jump into part 3, which is the creative. So again, I will break down my creative strategy. Then I also have some examples to show you from other clients as well. And I think just to show you very quickly, like this is a snapshot of my ad account. It's like 210,000, I guess it's pounds. This is one of our clients with 200,000, I guess last 90 days. It works. And to be honest, we do this so much. Obviously, I can only show in so much because it's easy for me to show my stuff versus client stuff. Anyway, let's break it down. So what are the different types of stuff that works really well? If you're like, okay, Shan, I want to do this. Let's go. Okay. So what should you be creating from an actual ads perspective? Because you kind of got an understanding of like the ad account setup. You could probably even hire someone if you don't want to do it yourself, but I really would say you should do it yourself, because this is a fundamental skill every entrepreneur should know, is how to run ads and market themselves. But when it comes to what type of ads to make, so I would say this. So first type, you need educational ads, because you are trying to position yourself as an expert, right? So educational ad would be like, find 3 things I would say that makes you, that makes you special, is the reason people pay you, whatever that is. So let's say you're an email agency. I don't know why, but there's so many SMS email agencies today. So let's use that as an example. So if I'm an email agency today, what are the 3 things I could talk about? Maybe I'm trying to sell to brand owners, right? You can talk about, one advanced thing is, if they have subscription products, they probably are not sending emails based on the days people are churning. So you should have more flow set up for that. That's a very expert thing to talk about in an ad. Another one could be the common mistake that you see when someone is sending emails and why it's not leading to sales. The other thing could be how you have to sell customized offers for emails only. The point is, whatever those things are, you need to run ads for those angles, right? Because you don't know which one of that's going to work for you. For example, for me, saying hot outreach just massively works, because we were like, what's that, right? It works. This angle works really well, because how agency scale plus 100K per month, I'm the only one that's saying you shouldn't do one niche, one offer, one thing. Right? Because you shouldn't. I didn't do it. Maybe it works for other people, all good, but I can only speak my truth. But when you speak your truth and what you've actually done, you speak with such authority, such expertise that people will lean into it. So if you're like, no, welcome emails should be only written founder POV. If you're an email agency, you should not do a glossy email. That would be like, that will cut through. You say, if you're a brand owner today and your email looks like this, it ain't going to work. You need to send a personal email saying, thank you so much for buying my product. I built this for this and this reason. We are this business. My mom says hi. Here's a coupon code. Please come and buy some more. Right? Brand owner's going to be like, yo, what is this person talking about? I don't know. I heard this. I thought I need to have the most beautiful designed thing, because that's what everybody's looks like. If I go to Gymshark or Athletic Greens, all these big brands, they have these shiny emails. And I've been paying designers and stressing over which AI tool is going to give me the best free design. And you're telling me I have to do copy? What? But that's what you want. You want to cut through with your thing, and you want to be different, right? Because the truth is, most agencies suck, most businesses suck, most freelancers suck, because people will copy other people, right? Literally, your even service that people provide, it's because they saw someone else do it. So they just think, oh, that's what I should be doing. But they don't think of like doing their own method or have enough things to really talk about, even if you know it in your head. And I mean that in a nice way, right? So there are guaranteed things that you are doing today which makes you truly unique, but you are not speaking about that stuff out loud. Guaranteed there's things you do today that makes people think, oh shit, and that's why they pay you, right? So I need you to dig deep on that. Anyway, next step, this is a little bit more work. Build a Miro board, Google Doc, etc., and try and do teaching videos, whiteboard, etc. It's a bit more work. The other thing would be your story, right? So founder story. Story always works, right? If you said, your story will always pull people in, right? In my case, I'm using my story here in this sense. Another one could be, I built my audience like this and this. If you're a design agency, you can say, I started helping, brands with their emails, and look what's happened, and blah, blah, blah. And because of that, blah, 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 I've started an agency to help the brands that I love. I love health and fitness companies. I'm into fitness. So today, that's what I do. So if you're a health and fitness brand, I can help you do your emails like blah, 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 right? Just adding a little bit of personal story, a little bit of background will pull people towards you, because people like that. They want to work with people that are like them. Challenging common beliefs, right? So stop sending cold emails, like literally stop sending cold emails to sign clients, right? Stop buying leads. How do you do things? Anyway, anything different. And then agreeable statements. That's your next group that you need to make. If your outreach sound like this, you won't get replies. If you've outreached thousands of people, no response, I know why, right? So like, if your email revenue is not at least 40% of your revenue, then you're not doing emails correctly. So I'm like, what? What do you mean? If your open rate is not 50%, you suck. What? Like, that's what you want to have. So, you want to say stuff thinking like, email is hard. Running a DTC brand is hard. Like say something, someone's like, you're right, tell me more. Some groups of ads for you. So outcomes would be more like what you're trying to get, right? What someone is wanting to achieve. So there's 5 buckets of types of ads you can make to get started, to start running ads. Moving into part 4, which is breaking down at a content level. So each piece of content here has to follow the following rules. You have to have the angle, which we have discussed, right? The angle is the broad messaging theme you want to explore. Testimonial, case study, frustration, dream outcome, alarming stats, old versus new, challenging comedy, future pacing, whatever, right? So these are angles which you need to know about your industry, about your thing, about your ICP. But then is the main thing, the hook. The way you express your main angle via headline or an image, first 3 seconds of a script, old versus new, raise your hand, in X time I did Y using Z tactic, imagine if you're struggling with X, 3 things that help me achieve X, X belief is a scam. And look, you can sit with ChatGPT and come up with loads of these, but you just got to add that context so it's relevant to your thing and go and spy on everyone else's ads and figure out what hooks they're using and why. So you have the angle, you have the hook. And then essentially, and you're testing for this, right? So we're testing for angle when we're running ads. We're testing different hooks and seeing which gives us better leads. And then finally, you're testing for format. So this is content format. Is it a Twitter style screenshot, right? It's the medium you use to communicate the message. Carousel post, static image, iPhone video, professional VSL. There is no right way. You got to test it because it's your ability to deliver in that style of content. Some of my clients absolutely kill the POV walking down the street. Some of my clients absolutely kill standing and sitting and speaking like this. Some clients absolutely kill on being on a whiteboard because it depends on your skill, right? So everybody is different. But ultimately, and this is ads, right? So you're like, okay, cool. I know if I say this, people are going to come. Here's the type of hook that I know is going to work. And here's the format that's going to work for me. What ends up happening is you end up having clear, like winning ads. So for example, this is like one of our clients, we know exactly if we're scaling his ad account massively, James, and I know exactly what would work. We know the type of things that we need to run to be able to scale because we know what hooks work categorically because we've been spending ads for years, right? So we know what hook, what angle, and formats work for us. So a combination of all that leads to a very successful ad account. Same for another client of ours, Sonada. We know B-roll and text overlay just works massively for her. So, the more we keep doing that, the more we keep scaling. And I think that's the main thing when it comes to ads. And it's all about creative, right? And this is essentially what we do. So I do it for clients, same thing for ourselves. You got to figure this out. Being able to run ads will just massively build your skill because you have to create all the content to then run content from an organic point of view. And it's just a win-win. Because, right, what are the 3 key pillars to growing an agency? You've got to post content, so you position yourself like an expert. You've got to run ads, like I just showed you, so you can get leads and calls booked to get more clients. And then lastly, you want to do very personalized custom outreach, hot outreach, because when the other 2 are there, the outreach will perform so well. Because when you send them an email, they're going to click on you, they're going to go to your website. What's going to happen? They're going to start getting retargeted with ads. They're going to be like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. Look how amazing his ads are. Then what's going to happen? They're going to go into your social platforms. They're going to watch some of your content. And before you know it, they are in your world. Because what happens on social media is, when someone's been to your website, been to your profile, whatever, now you keep seeing that person. All of a sudden, the person seems a lot bigger because now they're in your world. They're in your feed. And that's how you categorically basically will start to scale. Because from every angle, you're going to be in front of your potential clients. And like I said at the beginning, it's like hiring a team of people that are out there getting you clients every single day. It's not some lead gen agency. It's not some leads you are buying off Apollo and personalizing and using 70 different tools and, buying and, cold spamming them. It's this stuff. This is what's going to help you. So if you're a business owner today, you should be scaling via paid ads, exactly the way I laid it out here. And if you're someone that wants our help here at Genflow, all you gotta do is click the link down below and book a call. With that being said, I post 2 to 3 videos every single week now on this channel, and the goal is to grow it. So I would appreciate it if you subscribe. If you like this video, make sure you leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.